Hendo.
Hey. It's all going fucking pear-shaped on our 12th episode.
Did yours crash?
Yeah, I don't know. It just stopped.
Wow, that's the first time that's happened.
Yeah, so weird.
And
I can send you my recording and
done.
we can just splice that shit together or something like that. A
Did
little bit
yours
of
record?
editing. Yeah, I was recording, yeah.
No, but but the recording doesn't happen until the end of the thing. If it crashes, it's
No. It records it live, but then it processes it at the end.
So yours processed?
Oh no, I can process it any time.
Nah, it's fucked.
Well, I've got that 12th episode going.
We'll either include all of that stuff from the start or we won't. But anyway,
Yeah.
you're about to give us a review of this interesting beverage.
Can't fucking live stream. Anyway, here I am. I'm drinking Sobah, Pepperberry IPA. I hope you can see that there. There we go. Let me redo my first sip.
It's got an interesting color, doesn't it?
Actually looks like a beer, bit of haze in it. Good head retention, actually. So here's my take on it. I think it's quite bitter. If I was having, it's like bitter, like wort is when you're on brew day and that sort of thing, and it's quite tasty. I don't mind it. It's I don't know what a pepperberry is supposed to taste like. And so maybe, Luke, if you're listening, maybe you've got some straight up pepperberries, which I can just try straight out because I don't know what they're like, but it's not bad. I think
pepperberries, the berries they have in Tasmania that they put in gin. What is a pepperberry?
What do they look like?
Yeah, Tasmania, commonly known as Tasmanian pepperberry, mountain pepper, shrub native to. Yeah, I think I've seen a couple of used in gins and things.
My only feedback for this beer, it's a great beer, not non-alc NA beer and that sort of thing. Absolutely bloody wonderful, very very bitter, and I don't know if it's the pepperberry because I don't know what a pepperberry tastes like, or if it's got hops in it that makes it that bitter. But for me, it's a little bit astringent, and it puts it a little bit out of balance. But nothing apart from that, nothing wrong with it. I don't mind it. I don't really buy or drink non-alcoholic beer, so I'm really the least qualified person to be able to pass comment about this. However, I do believe that it's a great social enterprise, opening up a brewery down on the Gold Coast, not far from you.
Mm-hmm.
And Luke, who is one of my, I think I'm allowed to say former students. I think he's just about to graduate.
He's one of your housemates, isn't he?
Well, he rocked up in my fucking house this week, which was weird. People don't come around to my house. It's just my place is it's my space, but it's just weird like that.
That's the kind of fame you're working with now, Hendo. So
I know. It was good to see. Look, he's such a champ. Oh, it actually says on the tin, bold, hoppy, spicy. So it's supposed, it's obviously what the brewer intended. Dr. Clinton, I think it is, intended. So, well, that's what it's supposed to be, and it is that. It does what it says on the tin. So, I think it's good. Good social enterprise. Really looking forward to the brewery opening. It's bloody hard to make non-alcoholic beer. And as you would know as a brewer, that you got to respect that someone undertaking that challenge. It's not just getting something. You've got so many challenges. You got to make it taste good, and then you got to get the shelf stability right. So that it doesn't like re-ferment or make people sick or something like that.
High risk.
It's bloody hard. So. Much respect to Dr. Clinton and the Sobah team, because it's hard to do, hard to do.
Yeah. Well,
What
shout
you
out
got?
to Luke. I was going to say, Luke didn't come to my house. I assume he came to my place of business because there was some Sobah cans there for me as well. I tried that one. I didn't try the other ones. I feel like this might be the most kind of out there one of the lot. The other one seemed might be a little bit more entry level, which maybe I should have gone for first.
Yeah, right. Well, it's my first one, so
yeah. But like you, I've only ever had one alcohol-free beer in my life, and it was a BrewDog one. I haven't tried any of the ones on the market. I'm still a little bit like, I understand. Like Ben the other night, he had a non-alcoholic beer. He's having the night of alcohol. It looked like beer. I kind of get all of that. To me, that beer didn't really taste like so much like beer to me. So I was kind of thinking, like, is the like who drinks these beers? That's more the thing for us. Like I've always sort of thought, like, do we need to do one? We get asked about them all the time, but is it like a beer lover that drinks them, or is it more just someone who's like, I want to support this thing, I want to have something that kind of looks like a beer?
I would probably have something like this if I got roped into a party and I was the designated driver or something like that.
Yeah.
Because I'm very much if I plan to drink, I don't drive. I don't do the 0.05 thing at all. It's like, I'm having a beer, I'm getting an Uber or something.
Whatever. It's easy enough.
But if I got roped into being the designated driver, I'd grab a 4-pack of this. That wouldn't bother me at all. It's not a bad drop, but I just need to know what a fucking Pepperberry is.
Yeah. Right. Well, I like your review. I felt the same. There's a lot of flavor going on.
Yeah.
And that's one of the first alcohol-free beers I've had. I was kind of intrigued. Yeah.
Here we go. The Australian Pepperberry tree naturally occurs in the cold, high country of southern New South Wales, Victoria, and Tasmania. There you go.
Yeah, the only reason I knew that was because we are going to do gin at some point, and we were going to use the word blackberry gin because I like the word black, obviously, for obvious reasons. And I started looking around at native ingredients, and the black, it's a little black looking berry that kind of looks like a juniper berry, I think.
Yeah. Tell you what, man, if you put something like Pepperberry, which comes from the high country of southern New South Wales, Victoria, and Tasmania, that's not a really big area that you would grow commercial quantities of something that would go into.
It's not cheap either.
A beverage like this.
Yeah.
It must be hard to get. That would make
there may not be that much of it in there. I'm guessing you probably don't need a lot of Pepperberry to get that.
Well, I don't know. But even if you think about how much they would be making, like that would be hard to get commercial quantities of it. Even if you want to do something like 10 or 20 hectoliters or something like that, that'd be hard, man. Much respect if you can keep your supply chain going with that. That's good.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. That low alcohol thing is super interesting.
Let's see where it goes. My mind is open. What do you got there?
It's a Black Ops Goat. I have to have this because it's the hottest 100 day, and we're doing Vote Goat.
And Vote Goat. Yep. And you have to spell Vote Goat properly. It's VOAT-GOAT.
You can do that. Goat. It always bugs me.
That's how I spell it.
Don't put the dots in as well, because that's
VOAT-GOAT.
G.O.A.T. But that's fine.
Yeah.
My glass technique basically is dishwasher as well, so I don't know how this is going to go. I don't know what you've done with yours.
I cleaned this fucking glass.
Oh, shit. I'm not good at pouring beers. That's
so disappointed, man. It's like a live stream for nothing.
See, this is
how does goat, in relation to East Coast haze?
Yeah, well, every year we do this hottest 100. We're always kind of debating which beer to choose because our sort of flagship beer has changed every year for the last 3 years.
Right.
Last year it was pale ale, and Goat was getting to the point where it had as much distribution through the majors. Now it has more. So it was just taking over pale ale in terms of distribution. So we decided to focus on that for the hottest 100, which was a big gamble because Goat had never even been in the list at all before. And this year it's the same thing. It's East Coast Haze sells more where it sells, like locally at our tap rooms, but Goat has more distribution. So we're focusing on Goat because it was already in the list and because people love it, and it's currently got more distribution. But where we sell East Coast and Goat side by side, East Coast outsells it every time.
What was your highest ranking beer in last year's Hottest 100?
Goat number 5.
Yeah, fuck. Rightio.
Hmm.
It's
and
pretty tough to go up from there, mate.
Yeah, we also had 7 beers in the list. So, and all of them except for one was in the top 50. So we have a lot of beers, and it's kind of hard. Like, we kind of tell people vote for this one beer, but people vote for the beer they like the most, which is fine.
You know that it's happened, that the Hottest 100 is open today because my Facebook feed is full of ads saying vote for this beer and vote for that beer and that sort of thing. And
I actually thought there wasn't a whole lot of it. Like, normally we don't, like, this is the first year we've done a video for it. I thought normally everyone kind of does a video and makes a big thing about it. I didn't really see much activity today at all.
I've got Facebook ads in my feed.
Yeah.
For saying vote for this beer and that sort of thing.
Who from? What breweries?
Let's have a quick scroll, shall we?
Look around. I just didn't think there was like a huge amount of activity this year. I was kind of thinking maybe people didn't care as much.
Had one from your mates, sponsored post.
Yeah, your mates were texting people too, straight up. Vote for Larry.
Yeah, your mates sponsored post. Yeah. I don't mind. If you got to get the vote, get the vote.
Oh, fuck yeah.
That's the only one I got. But there's lots of people just posting. About
I've got your mates here on Facebook, sponsored post.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No, get after it. But no, I just thought this year wasn't like last year. I know your mates did like a pretty cool video that they look like they put a fair bit of effort into. I was looking around today thinking, what's everyone else doing? I looked at Bolter's Instagram. They don't seem to post much at all anymore. Their last post was, oh no, there we go. Oh, here we go. They posted tonight. Yep.
To vote?
Yep. Just a photo though. Yeah.
See what happens, eh?
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
I wonder how the CUB/Asahi. Well, now that it's Lion as well.
Yeah, that's going to
how's that going to affect their votes? Because remember when Bolter got bought by CUB, they went down in the subsequent.
Oh, not much. They only went from first to second, I think.
Yeah, that's down.
That's down. But when Ferrell got bought, they went.
When Ferrell got bought, they went down
out of
big
100.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I think a brand as big as Stone and Wood is just beyond the kind of they'll be fine. I feel like
it's not about the beer geeks, the Hottest 100. Yeah. We're kind of having the post Hottest 100 chat pre Hottest 100, which I think is good.
Well, no,
you should always put the cart before the horse.
I was interested to see how people approach it because you kind of wonder with these things if it's as relevant as it once was.
Well, exactly. Besides your own beers, any predictions for Hottest 100 for you this year?
Well, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, I was quite surprised that Benspoke won last year. I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah. I can't see Stone and Wood doing better in relation to Benspoke than last year after they sold. That would be tough. Be hard for Bolter to get back the number 1 spot after they sold. So I guess Benspoke again.
Yep, I'm going to predict Larry in the top 3.
Probably, yeah.
I think Larry top 3.
Yeah,
it's not much further you can go, but I think we'll see Larry in the top 3, and I think we'll see Bolter and Stone and Wood drop 1 or 2 places.
Interesting, yeah. So you still have Benspoke, Stone and Wood, or Benspoke, Bolter, and Larry maybe, or Stone and Wood. Yeah. Stone and Wood always have the big strong advantage of having one real flagship beer too, like your mates.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas Bolter kind of have a lot of good beers, and they had XBA, which is a flagship beer, but they've also got lots of other one that the people really get behind. So it's kind of be hard for them to make the top 3 again, but.
It'd be interesting. I always enjoy the day, when the Hottest 100 is on, usually at the pub or something, and enjoying a few beers and hanging out with mates and talking shit about, what beers are coming where, and tipping the cap. And I like it. I like the Hottest 100 now because it's no stress for me anymore.
Yeah, right. How did your beers go in the Hottest 100?
The best I ever got was 12th.
That's not bad.
Yeah, that was Milk and 2 Sugars.
Wow,
12.
really? that's when the GABS was a real big sort of part of it.
A big part of it, yeah. That was
Yeah.
2015 or the start of 2016 and that sort of thing. Thanks, Captain Obvious did pretty well. I think it got like, I think it was top 20. I can't remember. All the beers usually did fairly well and that sort of thing, you know. But I didn't go out and spread votes or anything like that. It was before the time where you really sort of had to, but you know, it's just the way that the beer game has changed, and I enjoy the hottest 100, and I think it's great that we have a consumer vote competition. You know, there's competition, call it whatever you want to call it.
Popularity contest.
Yeah, it is a popularity contest. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever.
No,
I think it's funny. I piss myself laughing whenever, as soon as it's all announced, and the conversation that happens after it's announced, it's the same every fucking year. It's the same shit, and I'm just sit there and I'm just like, I just, you know, stroke my beard and go,
grab some popcorn.
It's a little bit of deja vu, I think.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, I mean, I'm all for it because I think any kind of free content and free marketing for breweries, you know, it's not 100% free. Like, you know, if you have enough money, you do a video and you do some sponsored ads or whatnot. But if you do well in the list, historically, it's helped your business a lot, and I think that's cool.
Absolutely. That is absolutely true. It certainly helped Brew Cult back in the day. That where it helps though is with the retailers.
Oh yeah.
If they see you ranking highly, then they go, "We want that beer." Obviously, lots of people are talking about that beer. We want to stock that beer. And that's a really good thing. Yeah. You know, the really interesting thing about non-alcoholic beer is it doesn't even touch the sides. So
whoa, there it goes.
You can't tell. Anyway, I got this other beer.
Okay.
And this one was given to me this afternoon. I think you had something to do with this one. This is the Black Hops Rebel New Zealand IPA NZ. Oh, sorry, NZ Pilsner. Oh, I said NZ IPA, New Zealand Pilsner. I
have not tried this, and I was not there on brew day because I had to look after the brew day.
You didn't you dry hop this?
Not this particular one because I got to look after the core range back at BH2. But
right,
I sent some lesser experienced brewers up to look after it.
Rightio. So I've got to tell you that New Zealand Pilsner is one of my favorite styles of beer. One of my favorite styles.
You did mention that on the last podcast, so I'm intrigued.
Love it.
Looks cool. Their birthday beers are looking good.
Yeah, great. Lots of bubbles.
Revel did a good video for their hottest 100 today. They made a bit of effort with it.
Did they? Yeah, I shot a video with Maddie and Flex this afternoon because I did one of their fourth. Well, I did one of their fourth, but we're in the same series, mate.
Yeah, well, what's the video for?
Oh, you know how they do the blog thing?
Oh yeah, like the podcast.
Yeah. No? So did the cold IPA, which I had on the show the other week. Anyway, cheers, mate. Well dry hopped.
All right, well, give us a little one sip review.
It's definitely kiwi hops. Very fruity, like a fruit tingle.
Interesting.
It's like it's definitely like a fruit tingle. It's
what
amazing.
Hops are, is it saying on the tin what hops are in there?
Oh,
I should know,
mate.
I've got a lot going on.
Let me check. Inspired by a trip together across the ditch in 2020. Revel Brewing and Black Hops Brewing, bringing the New Zealand Pilsner with a clean Pilsner malt base, healthy dish kiwi hops. So presents flavors of mojito, lime, spicy orange, and citrus. Some would say a beer best enjoyed by the what? What the fuck is that word? Tankard. Oh, by the tankard! Exclamation mark.
Tankard.
Sure.
Okay. Sure.
Okay. I think I need my fucking glasses prescription.
I'm guessing that's some kind of reference to their trip and drinking vessels.
Best enjoyed by the tankard.
Right.
I'm such a fuckhead. It's so funny.
I was not on that trip. I gave up my spot to Gaz, so it was Gaz, Eddie, and Gubs. And they got back 6 hours before the COVID cut off.
That's right. It was like when COVID first started. They just made it back. You do know the theme song from that trip, do you?
Something about the rain.
Rain Dragon.
Yeah.
Dragon. Yes. Don't you go out in the rain.
And there was some conversation about drinking out of like gravy boats. So I don't know if the tankard is somehow related to that. I don't know.
Isn't that funny? I wasn't even there, and that song, because of Gubsy and Maddie, and Smokey, I think, was there as well.
Smokey was there.
That song was stuck in my head for a fucking month.
Wow.
Wasn't even there.
Do you like the beer or not?
Yeah, I love it.
About it.
Yeah, it's great.
Mm-hmm. There you go. I'm looking forward to trying those beers. When's their birthday celebrations?
Saturday.
This Saturday?
Yeah. You coming?
Oh, shit. No, I've got my kids this week. I can't do Saturday.
So Saturday from midday at the Bulimba Brew Pub.
Oh, nice.
It's the 4th birthday celebration. So if you are a Revel fan and you want to try the 4 Revel 4th birthday beers, so there's the Phoenix IPA, there's the cold IPA that I brewed with Maddie, there's New Zealand Pilsner that you brewed with Maddie, or Gubs brewed with Maddie, and then there's the one that Smokey did, which is a peach and tea sour. 4 cracking beers. So get down there and give it a go. Super stoked to see Revel get to their 4th birthday. They've done some amazing stuff in the 4 years, from opening the little Bulimba Brew Pub to River Makers now. You're winning. They won at the Indies,
Yeah.
But the Neo Mexicanos, they're just kicking goals. They're making great beers. A great bunch of people. Just go and support them.
Agreed. And if you missed our episode with them, it was awesome. So check it out.
Maddie and Flex, yeah. What episode was that?
I don't know, mate. It was maybe 10. I reckon 10, probably.
So what are we doing for our 12th fucking episode, mate?
Well, we haven't really made much progress so far, but we did have some news items, and then we normally need to get a renovation update from you, and then we do have 12 questions from 12 listeners to get to. So unless you want a reno update? Yeah, let's get into that.
Okay, so the painting is done.
Brilliant.
I'm covered in paint. If you have a look at my glasses, like there's literally paint all in on my glasses. There you go, look at that.
Nice.
I can paint in my glasses. I've had enough of painting, so it's done. And the kitchen is also done, which I'm super stoked about. It's looking amazing. My stitches came out this week, so there's that. And then my brother came down last weekend, and he's such a star. He's very serious, but he's a legend. And he came down, and so I'm having the toilet and the bathroom redone. And so in order to have the toilet, I had to build a false wall out of where the normal window is, to fit the toilet. And so he built all of the false wall and all that sort of stuff. He's not even a carpenter. He makes vinegar for a living, and he flies planes. He bought a plane. And so he come and did that on a Monday. He could have been running his business. He come and hammered nails, for me. Like, it's just mad.
Shout out to Hendo.
Yeah, Ian's a good bloke. I like him. He's way more serious version of me, and shorter and a little bit uglier. Okay. And but he's a good bloke. And and so coming up now is hybrid flooring.
Yes.
So hybrid flooring is coming up. So the thing that I'm into now is Kimberley light black butt
Yeah, I
hybrid
thought it was
flooring.
black butt because someone said in the
Yeah.
group type of
Just
wood.
light black butt.
Light black
Black butt
okay.
light, I think it is.
Black
Because there
butt
is
light.
actually a dark and a light black butt.
And is the Kimberley a reference to the region it comes from, or
No.
what's the Kimberley about?
No, that's just the
Brand.
Okay. So no. Okay. You ever listen to the radio?
No, I do at the moment because my stupid car doesn't fucking work and I can't listen to Bluetooth.
So you know how you get that fuckwit from National Tiles? Comes on.
He lives the house in front of my house.
Does he?
Yes.
Can you throw fuck up? Like, this is the thing, right? Just throw
his son
stones or eggs
yes.
or something at his house.
No, his house is very nice.
What's his name? Frank Walker, right? Frank Walker from fucking National Tiles. I'm
Yep.
pretty sure he bungs that voice on for the radio ads, right?
Anyway, working.
So and for all this time doing the renos, that sort of thing, I'm like, fuck buying anything from that guy. That's so annoying. I don't even listen to the radio a lot, but every time I do listen to the radio for a very short amount of time, Frank fucking Walker from National Tiles is on the fucking radio, right?
Could you give us a rendition just in case people haven't heard?
He goes, hello, Frank Walker here from National Tiles, like that. And so that was pretty good. And so and I swore I'd never buy anything from him. But then I wanted hybrid flooring and life changed. And so I went to a National Tile store and to be honest, it was the cheapest hybrid flooring. It's actually really good quality. I'm actually saying that before I actually go lay it, so I don't know if it scratches and stuff like that, but it seems pretty good. And yeah, and so that's what happened. And so
what's the Kimberley though?
That's the range. That's how they say the cheap range.
Oh, okay.
So I bought the Kimberley equals cheap. So I bought the cheap black butt light.
Okay.
That's it. So that's going to go in this weekend, and my brother's going to come down this weekend, Sunday, as opposed to Saturday. I don't want him to come down Saturday because I'm going to be at the Rebel thing. But yeah, that's what's happening.
Well, he's got a very fucking nice house, so he must be doing something right.
Well, I helped fucking pay for it, didn't I?
Yeah. I don't think you're the only one.
Mm.
All right. Well, that's good. And if you happen to recover the recording from our first podcast tonight that we lost, people can hear about my renovation update. If not, they miss out. They can hear about it another time.
We can intermingle it we can splice it like with a Frank Walker ad.
Oh, do you reckon I have copyright issues? Maybe.
No. I'll just record it. Just go, hello.
Okay.
Hendo here from National Tiles.
I could use, I mean, the amount of effort I'm going to go to on this podcast is pretty minimal, but I could probably use that. How far are we into this thing? It doesn't tell me. I could use that and put it at the start of the episode, like they do sometimes.
Dear. Oh, do it.
I can do that.
What have we got? What's been happening this week?
All right. Well, we've got, we had your live chat in the group, but I think we've kind of mentioned that you did a live chat. It was a little bit strange. It was just you looking for the comments for the first 5 minutes and cleaning glasses.
Yeah, I couldn't find the comments.
So, I don't know. Do we need to talk about that?
It was very dad, wasn't it?
It was great. I thought it was great. I didn't see it live. I saw it afterwards and saw it went for 12 minutes.
I'll fucking do it again.
Yeah. We're testing out all the different forms of content on this.
Yeah,
podcast.
whatever.
The other one is this Indies situation.
Oh, that was interesting.
Yeah.
So do you know the full story about what happened?
I don't.
Okay, so basically, my understanding is that it goes back to 2019, and so here you have the state champions. You have the trophies for the best pale ale, best lager, best stout, best IPA, all that sort of stuff. And they're based on what the judges say. But then you have these state-based, like the champion Queensland brewer, the champion New South Wales brewer, champion Victorian brewer, all that sort of stuff. And the way that that's calculated is by a point system based on the color of the medals that you win. You get X number of points for a gold, Y for a silver, Z for a bronze. Then you get a bonus point if that beer wins a trophy. And they tally up the points. And then lo and behold, you get a state-based winner. So so my understanding is of what happened was in 2019, they actually changed the scoring format for the state-based champions, how they calculated the how they calculated the state-based winners, and they published it in the Indies guidebook or entry booklet to say this is how we work out the thing. But when they actually went to tally the numbers, they kept the old system before they changed it, and they did it for 3 years.
Yeah,
and no one noticed.
No one noticed until this year. Do you know what the change was?
Oh, I could go look at the old Indies handbooks and that sort of thing, but honest mistake, it's like most, it's a winner that's calculated by points, and when that sort of thing happens, there should always be a count back. Always should be a count back in any competition. That's pretty common, and for some reason they didn't do it, and turns out that the winners weren't actually the winners. I feel sorry for the brewers that didn't that were announced as being a state-based trophy winner on the night, and then going, oh, sorry.
But I mean, in a way, you've got to also feel sorry for the people who won the trophy who didn't really get any credit on the night. And, like you kind of celebrate all the breweries that won on the night, and everyone was excited. Everyone was so stoked. Like you saw the guys from Filter and all of that, the stomping ground, and everyone was so stoked. And the other brewers who didn't win the trophy, were probably kind of a bit bummed. You're always bummed when you don't do as well as you hope. And then they announced later on that actually you did win, but you missed the opportunity to have that celebration and that recognition in front of everyone. It's only now the people who are the real fans that, happen to read the Indies website or whatever.
Well, exactly. And if you are that brewer who suddenly has been awarded that state-based trophy after the fact, how do you celebrate that?
And how do you do the opposite if you won before?
Exactly.
It's like posted from the brewers.
How do you go? Oh, sorry for that other brewery, but we're the actual winners. But
the reverse as well. Like what? I look at the other breweries who were celebrating before. They're not going to post something and say, "Oh, fuck, whoops, we actually didn't win." It's a pretty shit situation.
It's a bit shit. Yeah,
I feel actually pretty bad for the IBA too, because you just got to imagine they would be it would be shit to be them. That would be gutted.
They work so hard and have basically, the IBA's run on the smell of an oily rag since COVID, having no BrewCon, which is a major revenue thing for the last 2 years. And look, you can't really fault them, for it. It's I think it's like honest mistake. Whoever brought it to their attention, good on them for actually raising that.
Well, see, that's what I want to get into that, because let's get into conspiracy theories. Because do you think you would think whoever brought it to them is one of the winners of the new trophies, right?
Absolutely. That's no question.
Yeah.
And they should have done that, and
so who do you think it was? Do we know who it was?
Oh, I don't really want to speculate on it. It's not really
conspiracy.
Oh, it's not really worth it,
It's like it'd be fun.
It's not really fun. It's like, we just talked about the fact that if you're suddenly the winner and you go get loud about it, the first thing that's going to happen is people are going to go, it was you.
Would you let me ask you this question? If it happened to you on the night and your brewery didn't win, but you thought maybe they should, would you raise it, or we just let it go?
I've been in a similar situation to that before with the Champion Gypsy Brewer thing at the ALBAs. It's also done on points, right? And I had, I think the year that I won the Champion Gypsy Brewer Award, I had, I can't remember his name, from Swell Brewing in South Australia, tapped me on the shoulder. He goes, I think I got the points for that, man. It was actually at the dinner.
Right.
And I went, oh, man, let's just sort it out tomorrow. Put my trophy in my pocket and walk off, and I guess the moral of the story here is if you're going to run that sort of competition, you want to make damn sure that you've done your tallies and your calculations and your count back properly, that you
but I guess
count twice.
Like they just wouldn't even think of it, would they? They have the process, they follow it. And
it was probably in a computer.
Yeah.
It was probably tallied up by a computer. On the old algorithm versus the new algorithm, and they just let it run for 3 years. And I just, that's just human error, I think.
Yeah. bit of a shit situation. But anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, you didn't become Queensland state champion, so it wasn't you who complained, was it?
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't us. It has happened a few times though when you go to those awards, because I never fully understand how all those calculations work. But I know sometimes you go to them and you're like, shit, we did pretty well. Like, are we in with a chance of winning? And then you don't win. And then other times you think the same things and then you do win and you kind of don't really know why.
Yeah. It's not a secret. You just got to read the
right. I know.
Like,
but how many people actually read the way it's calculated to calculate?
I encourage my clients to read a competition handbook from end to end. You have to. If you're going to play the game, you got to know the rules.
It's fair.
It really is as simple as that. You really do have to do that. And so that's probably where it wound up that way. So yeah, there you go.
All right. Well,
a lot of the state champions changed though, which was interesting.
Yeah, that was
almost
harsh. And one from last year as well, which is like,
that's right.
Shit. It's a long time ago. Yes. Okay. All right. We have 12. As you and all of our fans know, we have 12 fans, and
one question each.
One question each. And this afternoon, I actually had a fair bit of time, and I sent an email to our email list, which you can. Yeah. Did you know this?
Does it work?
Yes.
Did I get the email?
I don't know. Are you on the list? Check your email.
Yeah, you made me fucking sign up on the first episode.
Good. Check your email. It probably went to spam. I checked mine and went to spam straight away.
Oh, there it is. Got a question for episode 12? Question mark.
Read it out.
It says, "G'day, Dan and Hendo here." Actually, it's just Dan. Sorry. I don't know how to send an email from two people. Plus, I'd never give that the issue access to this account. This is comedy gold. I'm glad I subscribed.
I'm happy it didn't go into your spam.
Oh, that's great. It went into my promotions.
That's fair.
Oh, and you're asking for questions. I assume Hendo would answer 12 fan questions. I assume Hendo would too. Not 100% sure, but I haven't asked him. Anyway, he didn't. Anyway, have you got a question? Just hit reply and it'll come back to me. If you are like Sonia and have no idea what I'm talking about, you can hit unsubscribe below and we can never speak again. Fuck you, Sonia.
Yeah, remember Sonia? She subscribed.
Yeah, I remember Sonia.
She was the only person who's ever emailed me until today.
Yeah.
When I got a whole bunch of emails from people replying to that. Oh, I've got another one here. Jesus. Oh, no, that's a spam. Okay. Calm down. Calm down. I just got excited.
All right. What have we got?
All right. So, and I also put this in the Facebook group and ended up getting more than 12, which is amazing. I don't know how those maths work, but let's get into them. So the first
base 12.
Yes, the first one was actually from before today, and I think it was relating to another bit of content we did. Probably wasn't very good. Lou G, favorite cheap shit beer.
I have one with me.
Okay.
It's Hollandia.
Oh, I think that's why it came up, because you had it on. Yeah. You had it on your.
Because I was drinking it on Friday night on the live stream.
Yes, that's it.
And I love it. I love that beer.
Okay.
It's a really good Helios. It's super tasty. I have a mate of mine who's not on Facebook, not on the internet, who I've known for nearly 30 years now. We're mates when I was living on res at university and that sort of thing. And we catch up sort of once a quarter and that sort of thing. And that's the beer that we drink. And so I can honestly say it's a beer I've had a lot of good times too. And it's just a good beer, and it's $54 for 24 500ml tins.
500 mil.
24 500ml tins for $54.
Dude, how do they? I don't understand.
I don't know how they do it, because the Xmas has got to be at least half that.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
4.7% alcohol. Amazing. So amazing, and brewed in Holland. There you fucking go.
I remember when I first saw that at the bottle shop. I'm pretty sure it was like right when it was getting to the point where cartons were more than $1 per beer per carton, and everyone was losing their mind. Yes. And there was just a couple of cartons that were still under sort of $24, and that was one of them.
Yes. Don't buy it in the bottle.
That was bottles, yeah.
Yeah, definitely don't buy it in the bottle. It's shit in the bottle. Buy it in the tin. It's better value. It's cheaper per litre beer. Trust me, I figured it out.
Yep. Done the calculation.
And it tastes better because in the bottle it's in green glass and it does go light struck, whereas in the tin it does not. And so the can is way better. And it's a good beer. It's very malty beer, well balanced, very easy drinking. And if you don't want to think about beer while you're drinking a beer, that's the beer.
Can't argue with that. I can't.
What's your shit beer?
I don't have one. I never ever buy shit beer under any circumstances.
Really?
No. I don't really enjoy lagers. So like what would I get that's a kind of a cheap shit beer that's not a lager?
150 lashes.
Ah, but it's not nice. I don't like it.
Yeah, right.
And I'll get pack.
What about mainstream beer? Like if you're at a pub and there's no craft beer on, and they've got like Tui's or VB or something like that, no Stone Wood, no Pacific Garden. What? I
get wine.
Red or white?
Either. Yeah, probably red, but I wouldn't really get a shit beer. I'd probably because in the right
actually
setting,
understand that.
In Tasmania, when we went there for like one day, we went down and had some oysters on the harbour, and Eddie wanted to do was smash Cascade Lager, and I couldn't disagree with that, and that was fantastic. But that's not a shit beer, is it? It's like not especially cheap. Maybe if I went out in a tinny, I'd probably smash a 4X Gold just for nostalgic reasons.
Oh man, 4X Gold in the right circumstance is really good as well.
Yeah.
After a hard day of renos,
there you go.
4X Gold goes down really, really well. Don't get me wrong, I don't drink these beers all the time, but I think that there's a time and a place for every single type of beer out there, and I'd prefer to drink craft beer. I'd prefer to drink an independent beer. That's my preference, but sometimes that just doesn't work out. And So 4X Heavy, except for 4X Heavy, I don't like 4X Heavy. It tastes like postage stamp.
Yeah.
VB I like. Melbourne Bitter I like under the right circumstances. So whenever I go to Melbourne, I usually find myself at Bell's Hot Chicken eating fried chicken.
Nice.
And they have Melbourne Bitter on tap, and that goes great with fried chicken.
Yeah, that's fair.
Although they got Pirate Life thing now.
Yeah, see, that's one I would have. Like that's not a cheap shit beer. It's like if I go to the footy and drink like that South Coast Pirate Life because that CUB have the rights to the stadium, I'm down with that. Yeah. I'll drink that all day.
Sure.
But I've never or Pack Ale. I'm happy to drink that, but I don't, 150 lashes is probably I don't like it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, there you go. All right, Adam Shell. I don't know which one because we know there's like about 50 of them.
There are a lot of them. I know 2 of them.
Question number 2.
What's he
saying? What
say?
did you vote for in GABS top 5, and was it Pegasus from Helios?
I haven't voted yet.
Okay. Well, you can't answer.
So I can't really.
When you do vote, what are you going to?
Well, I can honestly say it was. Why was it Pegasus from Helios? Well, I think they're a great bunch of people.
They said, was it Pegasus from Helios?
No, he said, why was it Pegasus? And I'm telling you why.
Oh, you're right. Okay. Yeah. I gave you these show notes, didn't I? I thought I was reading.
No, I've got them on the other screen here, and so it's not because of Adzi.
No,
it's because of Charlie.
That's fair.
Charlie.
Cool. Yeah,
it's absolute traditionalist when it comes to brewing, and I like it.
Yeah, that's a good answer. I've still got one of their beers in my fridge, actually. The Kronos.
Drink it. Drink it.
Fucking 10%. I'm not a savage.
I drank a Kronos on the show the other week. That's great.
I could probably go get it after this, to be honest.
Oh.
See how we go. Right. I voted for all the Black Ops beers, I'll be honest. I voted today. Just to test it out to make sure it was working.
You didn't vote for someone else's beer, not just even one.
Oh, fuck no.
Yeah, right.
Why would I do that?
Because you're a nice guy.
No, I'm not. I voted for Goat, East Coast Haze, AWOL Pink Mist because I want to make it with a barrel-aged beer because that hasn't been done for a while.
Fair enough.
And Pale Ale and Hornet. And no, I'm not nice. So that's my answer.
Okay. Yeah,
all right. This is a great question. Well, I feel like we need a list of the listeners. Actually, I wonder if we can go.
I know the answer.
You've done some research, haven't you?
Yeah.
Okay, wait a second.
So
I'm
ask the
going to go into our
question.
members, and then so I can just skim this real quick because I'm not prepared for this question. The question is from Murray Hughes. Question number 3: who from your 12 listeners is your favorite?
Dave Lavin.
Oh, okay. I don't think I know him. Do I know him?
No, you wouldn't know him.
Is he in the Facebook group?
He is in the Facebook group. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I've known Dave Lavin for it's early 2000s when I was still working in IT, and we worked for a company called L7 Solutions, so IT integrator company. And he and his brother worked with his brother as well. And Labs is a bit of a legend, and we actually caught up a few weeks ago on Zoom because I sort of left IT after I left that particular company, more or less, and got into beer. And I'm still Facebook friends with a lot of the people from L7. And then all of a sudden he reaches out and goes, I want to start a brewery. I'm like, you what? So we had a bit of a catch up. It was good to catch up with him. And I really hope he starts his brewery. So yeah, it's Labs. He's the person in the group who's probably, from my perspective at least anyway, he's sort of the most sort of detached from the beer scene. I know he's a beer fan and all that sort of stuff, but I know him not as Hendo the brewer. It's Hendo the IT guy, which no one else really knows me like that. So I like that. So stay 11.
Very good. One. I'm looking. We got some good people in here. It's really hard. Like it's
some
really
great
harsh
people
that we have to choose a winner, but I will.
Oh, it was easy for me. Who's yours?
It was easy for you. Well, I'm biased. Well, fuck, who am I going to choose? Facebook actually, it seems like it only shows you the most recent members. It's not showing me all members.
Well, mostly recently active or something.
Maybe it's not showing me all of them, but I'm going to choose. Oh, this is tough. So we've got two, and I'm obviously extremely biased, but we've got two investors who have both had more than 200 unique Black Ops beers, which is more than I have. Well, is it more than I
like
have?
on Untapped or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
More than
have you done 200 beers?
We've done Black 250. Ops. And these guys have,
what?
Yeah, these guys have, and that's unique beers. These guys have had basically almost every single one. I have to choose one though. Jesus. Okay, I'm going to choose Paul Simpson.
Yeah.
Because he was our first investor. He's over 200. He's got Fiend's number plates. We did a beer French Imperial.
Get out. Yeah, I know. I love Fiends.
Yeah, right. we did it like
so once. He's got the Fiends number plates.
Yeah.
What a fucking weapon.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
It's like that beer is a weapon. Those number plates, it's like weaponry.
Yeah. He asked a question today. He's a super fan, super supporter, super investor. So yeah, I'll give it to Simpo. Right, now this next question is even better, and I'm not prepared for this one either, but it's also from Murray. Who is your least favorite?
Okay, on the count of three, let's do it. One, two, three. Lee Mcalister.
Lee Mcalister. Oh, wow. Thanks for the layup on that one, Hendo.
Do you remember when Microsoft Word was like you're in your own little fucking space, but now you got Google Docs and you can see what other people are fucking typing in.
All right. Question number 5, Luke Miller. A two-part question. How has beer brewing technology changed the brewing canning process in the last 10 years? What advancements do you predict could happen in the next 10 years? I've seen in-tank hydrometers that wirelessly track gravity, temp, etc.
That's a great question. Over to you, Dan.
Well, in-tank hydrometers that wirelessly track gravity, temp.
Yeah, that's a thing. Yeah, it's a thing.
That's pretty cool.
You want me to answer this question and let
100%.
Okay, so how's brewing technology changed in the brewing canning process of the last 10 years? So firstly, with canning, didn't exist 10 years ago for craft brewers. It was only around 2016, 2017 when cans started to become a thing. It was very difficult to do. The in-tank hydrometers, that's actually a thing. There's a couple of companies out there that do remote real-time measurement of gravity, temperature, pH, and dissolved oxygen in real time. Feed it into things like Beer 30 and that sort of thing. So your crew don't have to go around twice a day and check grabs on beers. It's just done. Pretty reasonably priced too. That technology is getting cheaper and cheaper all the time, which I think is amazing. I think canning itself would be the biggest change in craft brewing technology in the last 10 years. The fact that we no longer really see beer in a bottle anymore is, for me, is astounding. Right? In 2022, we just don't see much craft beer in bottles, save for things like Pacific Ale and stuff like that. Sours, barrel-aged beers, all that sort of thing is still in bottles and bottles still have a place and that sort of thing. But as far as like daily drinking beers go and stuff like that, we just don't see bottles anymore, really. How quickly the consumer has taken on cans. I remember when cans first came out and I was going to put the Reset Rover mid-strength beer in a can. And people were saying to me, if you put that beer in a can, restaurants won't buy it. Because restaurants want beer in a bottle. That was the conversation.
People still say that.
You know, but the thing is that every fucking craft beer comes in a can now. And what are restaurants doing? Serving beer in cans. They pour it in a glass, they bring it out to you, or whatever, stick the can on the bloody thing. It's not as lowbrow as it was when it sort of first happened. It's become mainstream. That's the biggest change in brewing technology in the last 10 years, in my opinion, is the shift to cans. What do I think is going to happen in the next 10 years? I think what's going to happen in the next 10 years, I don't think consumers are going to see. I think it's going to be automation. I think it's going to be automation, and that's going to lead to more consistent beer outcomes. And that's going to make it more, it's got those breweries that invest in automation are going to do it for consistent beer outcomes, and they're going to be the ones that grow. Unless you're a brew pub or something like that, where you might market your beer on the basis that it's handmade or something like that, that's fine. But I think for the larger growth breweries like your own, even, I think automation is the thing that's going to happen next. And I also think that the second thing that's going to happen in the next 10 years is the growth of breweries having laboratory, right? It's not just doing micro and all sorts of stuff, right? Every brewery should have 4 laboratories. You have a raw materials and packaging laboratory, so testing your raw materials, can seams, all sorts of stuff. You have your chemistry lab, where you test things like pH, bitterness, alcohol, all things that can be measured with a machine. You've got your microbiology lab, where you look for spoilage microorganisms or not. And then you have your sensory lab. And not many breweries actually have all 4 of those. And I think that what we'll see over the next 10 years is, because the competition for quality will sort of start to really happen, that breweries will have to invest in those things in order to remain competitive.
Yeah.
So measuring your gravity in the tank, automated and all that sort of stuff, that's part of that, is what I'm basically saying,
Where's the romance in that, though?
It's a good question. I think, I don't know, where do you balance out the consumer's desire for a consistent product versus them wanting something that's, quote, handmade?
Yeah,
I get it. Yeah, it's tough. When I was working at Stone & Wood, we tried to make sure that everything was as manual as possible in a really, really big brewery, and there was very little automation.
Yeah.
Temperature adjustments for strike liquor and stuff like that were all done by hand, starting and stopping things was done by hand. You operate a centrifuge by hand. So how that's going to pan out in the future, who knows?
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, it's sort of been the thing for quite a while that it's, I think Mazen mentioned that, or it might have been one of the phone calls we had. He mentioned, it's all just going towards automation, but there's no brewery I know where brewers aren't brewing beer. I mean, there probably is some, but we're not. Stone and Wood still have brewers there brewing beer and making decisions.
Brick Lane is very highly automated, but they choose not to. It can be very highly automated. Brick Lane in Melbourne, they can be sitting in bed with their phone and milling and mashing, lauter the first brew, dig out the lauter ton and mash in the second before someone needs to intervene.
That's crazy.
They can even boil and add hop additions without a person being present.
So they can dry
Amazing.
hop, in other words.
Not the way you dry hop, mate.
Okay. Not the Salt Bay technique?
No.
Okay.
That's different. There's no robot that could do that shit, mate.
I don't have the dexterity.
Robots could go on strike. They probably would if they had to do that, I think.
Right. Luke Cooper, question number 6. Why did you allow photographic evidence to be obtained at the Christmas party? I think that's...
Is that your Christmas party?
I assume so.
What photographic evidence? I saw you pointing at the camera, standing on a table.
Yeah, I didn't put too many photos up. I did dress as Tiger King for the speeches and the staff awards. And maybe he's referring to that. So I had a wig. I had the Tiger King shirt. I've got obviously the handlebars.
Yeah.
I had a cap and the sunnies and all of that, boots, which is fine. What else bad happened at the Christmas? It was pretty tame, I think. I feel like we dodged a bullet this year. It was everything was reasonably under control, so there was no need to keep cameras out of it.
Good.
Yeah, it's getting harder though.
I like your Christmas parties. I came to the Christmas party that was at your house a few years ago.
Oh wow,
that was
at
fucking
the unit
messy.
Or the one with the when I built the tank in the backyard.
Yeah,
with the Nerf guns.
When you had, hey,
which house is this?
Your house you just knocked down.
Yeah, and I had built the tank in the backyard, and everyone was shooting each other with Nerf guns with the Super Hornet slushies and that kind of thing.
Yes.
Holy
shit, that was loose.
Yeah, well, that was early days. It's different now.
I don't remember getting home from that.
Yeah, unfortunately, when the company gets to a certain size, you kind of can't keep doing that stuff anymore. So yeah, it's not as fun as it once was, but that was a good one. I like that one. All right, Luke Cooper, number 7. Question number 7. How shit can a shitpost be?
Pretty shit.
Okay. I still don't know what a shitpost is, so I'm not qualified to answer this question.
Dude, you shitpost all the time.
Other than Murray's post, which I don't know if you saw that, but that was pretty awful.
Your shitposting skills are pretty good. I think you need to give yourself some credit, eh?
All right. Well, if he oversteps the mark, what will we do? We'll ban him.
Oh, he's not asking that. He's not asking. I don't think he's asked that question. He's not asking permission.
Oh.
I think he's just saying, how shit can a shitpost be?
Okay. Pretty shit.
Pretty shit.
There's your answer. All right. Paul Simpson, brewing equipment. Wait, I want to get a beer. You can ask this and answer it yourself.
I'm going to drink my Hollandia. I'm actually going to, for those of you watching on YouTube, I'm going to finish this NZ Pilsner from Black Ops. That was lovely. And then I've got this can of Hollandia, which I'm now going to open and drink from the can because I know how much Dan hates drinking from the can. 500 mils of deliciousness. Cheers, everybody. If you're listening to this, you should actually go and buy 1 can of Hollandia and try it with an open mind. And if you still think that it's shit, post it in the Facebook group because I'd love to hear your opinion about what you think about Hollandia and whether it is indeed a shit beer or not, because I might be wrong. I think it's good. I've got some good memories attached to it, or lack thereof. What? Oh, who's that?
Okay, just next
time. It's his children spewing again.
Okay? Oh my God.
Did one of your children throw up again? Did one of your children throw up again?
No, they're in there getting shredded in the home gym.
Oh, good on them.
Geordie's in there
Exercise is
fucking
good for kids.
deadlifting bloody 40 kilos, and he's
Make
like
sure they're
12 years
safe
old.
with their back and that sort of
They
thing.
don't know how to use it. They've never used a gym before, and they're in there doing
Oh.
deadlifts and shit. And I was like, just wait for my supervision. Jesus
Bend the
Christ.
knees.
All right. Now,
So-
did you answer the question?
Nope.
We've been talking about Hollandia the whole time.
Yep.
Well, the whole point is you can see the question as well, so you can ask it. But I'll ask it if you want. Paul Simpson, the #1 favorite of mine in the group, and I feel bad because Connor McCormack's in the group. I fucking love that guy as well. I feel we got some good people in there. Anyway.
I'd love to meet these people.
You never met Simpo? You guys have the same haircut.
That sounds like a nice guy.
You also have the same haircut as Connor.
Is that right?
If you ever go to Black
Also-
Ops HQ, you'll probably see Simpo's Fiends Mercedes in the car park. Old Mercedes.
I have seen the Fiends car before,
Okay.
which I think is amazing.
And if you look on the wall, there's a skateboard there because we did a giveaway one time to win an East Coast Hayes skateboard. It was at a bar down the street, and I had to read out the winner of it. And there was like 100 people there, and I read out Connor McCormack, like our like one of our biggest sort of investors who's always there. And everyone's like, it's rigged. So we've got it stuck on the wall at HQ, and it just says rigged Connor McCormack underneath it.
Nice.
He's a legend. Right, Simpo, brewing equipment. What's the options available for breweries starting out these days versus when BH first started? Has the industry seen a huge increase in new competitors targeting brews over the last 5 years? How does it look? Or there are 3 or 4 main suppliers. Yeah, this is interesting because I think
when we talk about brewing equipment,
yeah. When we started, we didn't. I felt like there was no almost precedent for buying like cheap Chinese brewing equipment. At least we didn't know anyone who could kind of tell us where to go.
You wrote the book on it.
Yeah. So at that time, it was like, fuck, we'll just pick one. And we picked Tiantai, and we went over there and everything, and wrote the book, and a lot of people read it, and a lot of people did the same thing. So they've gotten, for kind of entry level breweries, they seem to still be they've done a lot of breweries.
They're massive here in Australia because of you guys,
Yeah.
They're trusted because you took a punt on them and they delivered a good product, and people just go, if you're buying Chinese kit, go straight to Tiantai.
Yeah. Yeah, but
whereas if you went to the UK or the US, Tiantai wouldn't be as popular.
No, but it's sort of different getting it there as well, isn't it? But it's also like, I know when we started, everyone we spoke to, it was either, fuck, you'll probably remember the companies, the 2 main brew houses that were before us. They were very expensive. You'll probably know them. I should remember them. One went out of business, I think.
It was DME.
Yeah, DME and were they the one that went out of business, and they might have got bought out?
They got bought out by, I think it's a German or Chinese/German company or something like that.
Yeah.
So and there was
what was the other one?
Oh, there was old mate Wes Smith who had the Brewmaster stuff that I brewed on at Prickly Moses, and Brownstone's got it. Mornington Brew Pub's got it. Got one of those systems still, about 10 years old now. I'll answer that question from Paul, actually, regarding brewing equipment, right? Here's the thing that's going to happen now is that in the last few years, I'd say the last decade, right, we've seen a rise of a prolific rise in the number of companies offering stainless steel brewing equipment. Some of them have Australian representatives, so you get local support. And if you are thinking of buying a Chinese brewery, I would strongly suggest buying one with local support, or if they are Chinese, like Tiantai, they actually do have pretty good support from the brewers that I speak to. There are some really expensive and overpriced Australian suppliers. They differentiate their service, in a certain way. They might get the equipment quicker or something like that. You've just got to play that game very carefully.
You just cut out However, Zoom has not crashed. So I don't know if you can hear me, or I'm going to do a little speed test here and see if it's my internet. It's probably not. Oh, maybe it is my internet. What's happening right now? Oh, no, my internet's flying. Okay, so fingers crossed Hendo's lost his internet and you guys can still hear me. I might just wonder if you can hear me. I might just add to what you're saying, Hendo. Oh, he's disappeared. Whoa. Oh, wow. Hendo's video is back, but Hendo is not there. It's just a blank chair. There he is. Wait, now I can't hear. Oh, no, you're muted, I think.
I was checking my...
Oh, wow.
dropped out, and then I came back, and then I thought, oh, my router. I'll check my router, and that's why I ran out of the room.
Oh,
anyway.
What happened? Just dropped out.
I don't know. Where was I at?
You were saying...
This episode's going to be shit to edit. I'm just saying.
I'm not editing it. It's fine. We've got patient listeners. We all 12 of them. You're saying there's some overpriced Aussie suppliers.
There's some overpriced Aussie suppliers. The number of stainless steel equipment providers has gone up over the years, and the prices have come down significantly. I saw an ad on Facebook for a 500-litre brew house with 10 500-litre tanks for $67,000 US export FOB. Right. That's so cheap, you know. However, the issue, I think, for 2022 and beyond is the supply chain crisis we've currently got globally. Yeah. The price of a 40-foot container has gone from $4,000 to $6,000. They've been pretty much over the last 10 years. The last I heard, you know, someone was trying to get some kit out of China. It was $33,000 for a 140-foot container out of China.
Wow.
It's pretty bad out there. And I actually firmly believe that this is going to curtail the number of new breweries opening up in Australia for the next couple of years, at least.
Interesting. Yeah.
We are not going to see because of that. You know, when you got a tank that costs $10,000 to buy, $10,000 US, and then it costs another, you know, you fit 4 into a container and it costs $33,000 to ship that container to Australia. That makes those tanks really expensive to the point where an Australian fabricator starts to look attractive.
Yes.
But they're all maxed out themselves. So no one can get kit, or no one can get kit at a decent price. And I think part of the reason why we've had a massive explosion in the number of breweries in Australia and indeed globally over the last 10 years is cheap Chinese equipment.
Yeah, 100%.
But those
we were told it would cost us
$1
million to build a brewery, and we found one for 150 grand and sent it. If it was going to be $1 million, we never would exist.
Yeah. And I think those days are gone, at least for the next couple of years. So I think we're going to see the number of new breweries opening flatten out, you know, or the number of breweries in Australia is going to flatten out for a while because the freight's just too expensive until we sort of get on top of this global supply chain crisis, whatever we want to call it. Yeah, it's going to be pretty tough out there. So,
well, there's a prediction from Hendo, not a particularly optimistic one, but
it's not optimistic. But I think it's going to take at least 12 to 24 months for this backlog to clear. But then you got to ask yourself, what's it going to look like after that?
Yeah,
you know, all those people out there, all those hobbyists, all those home brewers who are sitting there having beers on a Friday or Saturday night with their mates that they're going to open the brewery, just the same as you did, right? And they're looking at the numbers and they're going, it's just really expensive. I don't think we'll do it this year.
Yeah.
It's going to be really interesting. Good if you're already operating. Not so good if you've bought a brewery and it's sitting in a port waiting to get shipped, because what the fuck are you going to do? You got to pay it, you know?
Yeah. Well, we've got 11. I think we've got 11 containers on the way at the moment. So
you do, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. So not super easy, even if you are operating a brewery, because they're understanding how
I've spoken to a colleague, you know, who had a brewery upgrade, you know, plan that had like $75,000 or something like that, you know, budgeted, and it's now $250,000.
Jesus Christ, yeah,
it's fucking phenomenal, you know, and they have to pay it. So
Yeah.
And you don't get that money back. It's like, it's just like, you don't get it back. It's shipping. They move the thing from one place to the other, and then that's it. It's gone.
Well,
you don't buy it.
but I wonder if it legitimately long-term increases the cost of that asset, then the value of the asset, I suppose, would be also higher, in which case it kind of just sits there on your balance sheet as something that's valuable.
Sure. And for those, I guess, that already have brewing equipment here, the value of that equipment has now gone up rather than gone down, which I think is a good, I guess that's a good thing, I suppose. Are your 11 containers that related to your canning line?
Well, we've got some coming this week or possibly Monday, but either late this week or Monday, which is the new canning line, the first shipment for the new canning line. And then we've got the second shipment coming in January, and we've got 6 new tanks, which are like our tanks are just 1 tank per container. Or I think so. It's that'd be 150s, 160-ish to fit in a 40-foot container. Yeah, I think they're 180s, but like
just they're ones that it's just like 1 tank into a 40-foot container.
Yeah,
you can get 57-foot containers.
Oh, can you? Not open ones.
No. There's actually there's 57-foot containers.
Well, we're a little bit lucky in the building we've got that those tanks that fit perfectly into a container also fit perfectly under our roof pitch, so they just kind of slot in. Just by luck, they just happen to be the perfect size.
Yeah.
Not pure luck. Like we obviously you get them custom made, so you get them made to size, but they fit nicely.
Yeah.
All right, Connor McCormack. Speaking of the person who isn't my favorite member, which I feel guilty about. Question number 9. Oh, the other thing I'll add to that conversation,
like less like, isn't your favorite, as in least favorite, like Lee?
Oh no. Lee is firmly the least favorite.
Yeah. Oh, so he's like the second top from the top, you're saying?
Yeah. Connor's the one with the second Black Ops investor with the skateboard and that. I was just going to say, adding to that other conversation is the tanks we've bought for the current upgrade, we've actually bought from India, which
India.
Yeah.
Huh.
So that could be different. That hasn't been a place we've considered before, but we found a supplier that was doing a lot of stuff for big distilleries and whatnot.
I've heard of some stuff coming out of India, but I've never really, I've been sort of approached to sort of help commission some brew pubs over in India and that sort of thing, and Indian equipment. And I'm like, why not? Yeah, seems interesting.
Well, you'll see. If you want to see some tanks from India, we'll
interesting.
get them within a couple of months. Conor McCormack, where did you get your Tiger King shirt that you wore to the Black Ops Christmas party? I want to make sure I never shop there.
Where was it?
I feel I'm a bit hurt.
Where did you get your Tiger King shirt?
Well,
have you got a Tiger King shirt?
Oh yeah, no, I went as full Tiger King to the party. I'm going to find the exact URL. Blossom Costumes. This is the name of the place. It was actually pretty lucky because I bought the whole Tiger King outfit and I've been growing the mustache the whole time for it. And it didn't get delivered. And the party was on Monday. And I was pretty devastated because I had it all ready to go. And then we did our adventure hunt thing during the day. And then as we went back to HQ to get the bus to the party venue, it just got delivered just then. And it was sitting there behind the bar.
And you just whipped it straight on and...
Well, no, I kept it a secret, and I bought my boots and my jeans and everything just in case. And then just before we did the speeches, I just said, just give me 5 minutes, I'll be back. Went to the toilet, came out as Tiger King. It worked perfectly. Now, sorry, to answer the question, Blossom Costumes. So, Connor, don't ever shop at Blossom Costumes if you don't want. It's a
don't shop
cool
there,
shirt.
Connor.
I should wear. I'm going to wear it next episode. Why not? Who's going to complain? No one watches this on YouTube.
Yeah, fuck them. If you're watching the YouTube,
I'm going to wear it next episode. All right, number 10, Jason Adlington. What is the biggest hurdle in taking the step from home brewer to brewer or brew pub owner? And what timeline would be realistic from the point of having a venue you have your eye on to a point of actually opening a brew pub?
Oh. You know, so we both went. Oh,
it's a timeline
because I bet you we were thinking at the same time the same thing and different things.
Yeah,
so many things that went through my head right in that moment. Wow. I would like to talk to it from a skills perspective. I suppose,
Yes.
you know, you being the brewer, you can talk to it from a business perspective. I think skills. When you're a home brewer and you make your beer and you give it away for free to your mates and they go, oh my God, this beer is fucking amazing. You should open a brewery. They're getting that beer for free. And when you get beer for free, it always tastes good. All right. The moment, and it's also your friends as well. The moment you start selling beer to strangers and you're charging money for it, the game changes and your brewing has to change. There is no way around it. You have to make good beer. And you have to reasonably ask yourself, right? If you're a home brewer who's thinking about going pro now, and going pro doesn't mean opening your own brewery. Going pro also means getting a job at a brewery,
100%.
making a career of it. You don't have to, just because you want to go pro, doesn't mean you have to go and spend $1 million and fucking build a brewery. You don't have to do that. You can make a decent career working for somebody else in a brewery and have a great time doing it and sleep very well at night.
You can probably learn a lot more than you could than
absolutely, and sleep very, very well. Knowing that you can go work on shift and finish your shift and go home and go, all right, I'll get up the next day and do whatever. Same thing again. So your quality has to be amazing. There is just no way of getting around it. Those home brewers who are listening to this now, I want you to think about the breweries that you love drinking their beer, right? Or that you reach for when you see it in the fridge at the bottle shop, you just reach for it without even thinking about it. Why is it you're reaching for that beer without thinking about it? And the answer is because the beer is good. You need to be that good, right? You can't experiment on your consumers. You can't experiment on people that are paying for the beer. It just can't be done, especially not in 2022.
Stop talking about 2022. It's freaking me the fuck out, Hendo.
Sorry, in 2021.
Thank you.
And so the biggest hurdle is making sure that your brewing skills are up to scratch, as good as the beer that you like buying from the bottle shop. That's it. That's your biggest hurdle. What do you think?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well,
what were you thinking in that moment?
I think that's a great answer. I actually, as I was reading that question, like you, I saw the word home brewer and I was sort of reflecting on how many I've seen people make the journey from home brewer to brewery owner. And the people that I think of is Currumbin Valley, who've done, to me, amazingly well. Like we were all hanging out back in the day, drinking their home brew. Like Lukey was a great mate of mine. Smokey's, mate of fucking everybody's. They're making that journey right now. But to me, it's a really difficult. Like you said this to me when we started Black Ops, and in the book, in the foreword, you said make beer well, and it's a difficult journey to go from home brewer to brewery owner. And I think that's kind of the dream, but that's not what we did. Like GABS wasn't a home brewer. He was a professional brewer. Of
course.
And most of the breweries I think of that have done quite well have not gone from home brewer to brewery owner. And I think someone like Currumbin, and I mean, they had work in other breweries. I know Smokey was kind of working up at Ballistic and whatnot. But that, to me, that's a fucking great thing to achieve, but it's probably not the best way to do it.
Well, the thing is, as well as that, Smokey and Lukey have been clients of mine since they pretty well started as well. And I'm not sort of taking, not sort of, trying to steal their thunder and that sort of thing. But what I will say about Smokey and Lukey is they both aspire to learn and continue to do so.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is the key thing. If you're thinking of being a home brewer who wants to go pro, is just because you go pro doesn't mean your learning journey ends. It just begins.
Yeah.
They're
a pretty unique.
Even Gubsy, I'd even say even Gubsy. I really admire Gubsy's journey. over the last few years. He's done some amazing stuff. He was already a professional brewer when he started Black Ops with yourself and Eddie and that sort of thing. He has scaled the brewery. He's felt the growing pains of constrained production capacity, the quality issues, then building a new brewery, then buying a brewery. Fuck, just so many things that he's had to absorb over the years. Now he's got that big project of putting in this new canning line. Fuck, man. Gubsy was a professional brewer in the sense that he was a shift brewer. I didn't say shit brewer, shift brewer. Sorry, Gubsy. Like, he was a shift brewer, and when he started, and so he's had to learn and grow and evolve from being a shift brewer into a head brewer, into running several breweries and having head brewers under him.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
And kind of take
but he also did work for a lot of breweries, and that's I feel like that's important. I can't imagine it would be hard to go from homebrew to not working underneath someone. Like he worked under Brendan Fielding and Ian Watson, and I mean, I don't think you don't get GABS without the Ians and the Brennans, and I think going from homebrew to brewery owner you're going to miss all of that. So that's going to be super tough.
Yeah, I see it a lot where homebrewers go pro, become their own head brewer and that sort of thing. The ones that spend the time enhancing their skills before they actually go commission their equipment and don't experiment on their paying consumers, but rather experiment with their friends, are the ones that do well. And I've got a few clients who've done that extremely well and have gone on to do really, really well.
Carumba's as good an example as you're ever going to get. Like, I was drinking Lukey's homebrew way before Black Ops existed, way before Carumba existed. He used to call it punk piss beer. We shared an office and we had it on tap. And the first ones I tried were pretty average, and they just gradually got better and better and better. And Smokey got involved, and you helped out, and they did their first contract brew at Black Ops when we had the brewery there. And the qualities got better and better and better and better, and the branding got better, and the product got better, and they're at a position where they can open their own thing. And they've got ARBA gold medals, they've got Royal Queensland trophies under their belt and all sorts of stuff. It's amazing. I don't want to blow my own trumpet. There are lots of good brewers who I've worked with behind the scenes who've done the hard work. And if you are going to be a home brewer who's going to go pro, you've got to do the hard work. Yeah, agreed. Now, from a business point of view, timeline, I just can't even fathom to fucking guess that question. It's just there's just so much that can go wrong when you're opening a brew pub. I don't know. I don't know. Town planning, council, liquor licensing. I'll give you the general tip, that I tell people, when they ring me up and go, I want to open a brewery, can you help me? I'm like, yeah, cool. I said, do you have premises? And are they suitable for having a brewery? Once you got premises and you're like looking at a lease and you're seeing if the zoning's right and all that sort of stuff, and then you can start to look at equipment, and floor plan and all this sort of stuff, and then you got to get the town planning right and go through that process, and then you need your liquor license, and then you can think about maybe opening a brewery and that sort of thing. But it all sort of really starts with premises. Yeah, well, people have read.
Don't start with equipment. If you start with equipment, you're going to try and shoehorn something into a space that might not be appropriate.
Yeah.
Start with the premises. Find a location first. Make sure that location has the right town planning,
which you probably can't at the moment. Get some rent-free period if you can.
Get a really long rent-free period,
which you probably can't at the moment because commercial real estate's impossible.
No, that's right. But if you can, do it. And then use that rent-free period to go through the process of making sure that you can open a brewery in that space. Go check it, get a town planner, check the zoning, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, ours, I guess depends how far you're going to go, but I know like for us, the original Black Ops took us about a year. We didn't think it would take anywhere near that long. That was from actually purchasing equipment and having the location. AWOL took us about a year from having the location.
Yeah.
I mean, the Revel, that Revel one that they booked, how long that had all kinds of stuff.
That was 18 months, 2 years nearly.
2 years almost. Black Ops Brisbane.
It's going to be stressful.
Black Ops Brisbane, 10 days.
Already established though.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, that's
all
that's
the hard
thing.
work was done.
Yeah. That's
Are you going to buy more breweries, Dan?
Well, I actually I get asked this quite a bit actually, because that's
really.
Yeah, I got asked that actually just today. But I think that was just a nice fit. It was just we had shared the same investor.
Yeah, there was good synergy there.
Yeah, but I don't think, I guess if the opportunity presents itself, it's something to think about, isn't it? If you can do it in 10 days as opposed to a year.
I can do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Job done. What's the next question?
Adam Shell. Could be the same one.
Which one? I don't know.
Well, this is Adam Shell via email, which I appreciate because it's nice when people use the email to respond to our email. How much more or less do you enjoy beer now that you do it for a living? This is almost a November question, isn't it?
More.
More.
Way more.
Really?
Yeah, shit, yeah. Yeah. I drink beer in a different way now that I'm a brewer. I can actually segregate in my mind the difference between mindful drinking and mindless drinking. Right. If I'm at the pub with my mates, if you and I at the pub, we're just smashing pints, that's mindless drinking, and I can happily do that, except if the beer's a fucking diacetyl bomb, in which case you can eat a dick and fuck off. Then there's mindful drinking, which is when, say, I'm beer judging or doing sensory at work or something like that. And I love both. I love mindful drinking because when I do sensory, I switch my mind off, and I just, all the stress and stuff that's going on in the day and that sort of thing, it just vanishes, and I can just focus on my eyes, my nose, my mouth, my senses, my brain, and a beer in front of me, and just appreciate it, and evaluate it. But at the same time, I can go to the pub and just knock back pints with my mates and act like a dickhead as well. And I love both. So as a professional brewer, my appreciation for beer has gone up because I get to enjoy beer in two different ways now, not just one.
Wow,
that was pretty deep.
You're like the beer Buddha.
Yeah,
we've come up with a new nickname for you. You're
the beer Buddha.
Shit.
Oh shit!
I like that mindful drink. Is that a thing? Mindful drinking.
Mindful versus mindless. Yeah, mindful drinking versus mindless drinking. Yeah, I love them both.
Well, like I said before, with the No November, I feel like I don't appreciate it. I'm too spoiled, and I'm a spoiled little fucking brat that gets free beer that's fresh and fucking amazing. And
have I got the beer for you?
What do you got?
Oh man, I made a New Zealand Pilsner with the Photographic, and you got to try that one.
You were telling me about that. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Tank, I think.
Yes.
I
packed it. I kegged it today myself personally.
Oh, okay.
This beer is phenomenal.
Okay.
I can honestly, hand on heart, say that I've not made a beer that good. And this, when I say I made the beer, it's like myself and the Photographic and that sort of thing with that brewed that beer. This beer, I could tell right at the start it was going to be good, and holy shit balls, it's just come out amazing.
We should do a 12 listener live tasting event or something.
Well, I need to buy a keg, I suppose. I can buy a keg.
Well, who's going to tap it?
You got a fucking pub in Brisbane, at East Brisbane. We can tap it there.
All right, easy.
It's TAFE prices, mate. It's like it's going to be like $120 for a keg or something, like a 30-litre keg. So.
Yeah. Do you want to do it first? Boss and the Brewer meetup. NZ Pilsner.
Yeah, when do you want to do that?
Oh, whenever. When's it ready?
What's in it? It's there. It's there.
Ready to go.
It's ready. It's kegged.
All right.
Sooner the better. It's got to drink. You got to drink it while it's fresh.
Okay. Let's do that. All right. Let me think about that. Should we do it? We don't have to do a podcast, do we? We'll just catch up and have a beer.
Yeah.
End of year.
So we are. So basically, we are having the Froth Rookies Christmas party at the Cannon Hill Tap Room next Friday. And we're going to have a keg of that there. We're actually going to have like 5 of the Froth Rookies beers on tap, which I don't think is being done before.
Wait, can other people come to that, or that's just the?
Of course you can. Would you like to come next Friday to that?
Yeah, that makes more sense. Don't make it all about me. Let's
Come
just
to
go to
that.
the existing event. When's that on the 17th?
17th, Friday the 17th, Cannon Hill Tap Room. Shout out to Matty Wolf. Just come and enjoy the beers, because I think it's actually really good if lots of people who aren't related to TAFE come to that, because these students make these beers and they never get to see the reaction of consumers drinking their beers. And I think it'd be really good if you come and try the beers and let them know what you think, good or bad.
That's a great
because they're like brand new professional brewers. They're going to make. I'm really hopeful for their future as pro brewers and that sort of thing. Come and try these beers. The NZ Pilsner in particular, the IPAs, mate, they're all amazing. They're such good beers. They're good brewers.
Nice.
I
ran into one of them this afternoon in the staff room. He was like, I'm on Hendo's work experience course thing. And I'm like, I don't know that guy.
Oh, you would have had Dwayne.
Dwayne, that's the guy.
Yeah.
Yep. Randomly ran into him in the staff room. He was talking about you, and I just pretended I didn't know you. So he's probably going to be very confused next time he comes in to school.
No, he's graduated. He's finished. Thanks.
All right. Final question. Chris Wood. It's two-parter. People love a two-parter question, don't they? But anyway,
that counts as 2 questions. I don't get it. Anyway.
All right. Q1. Are there many local suppliers for grain, hops, packaging, etc.? Are these sustainable versus bigger suppliers? Q2, if beer was made illegal tomorrow, what alcoholic beverage manufacturing scene would you move to and why?
Move to and why?
That's definitely 2 unrelated questions.
Jeez, that was very unrelated. So question 1. Are there many local suppliers for grain, hops, packaging? Are these sustainable versus bigger suppliers? Okay, so here's the really interesting thing with regards to supply of the craft brewing industry. Now, we're all big advocates of independent beer and all that sort of stuff, but the companies that supply those craft breweries are generally multinational companies. If you buy malt, it's either going to come from even local malt. It's going to be Joe White or Barrett Burston. Barrett Burston is Cargill, which is the big American conglomerate. I don't know who owns Buddy Joe White. It just escapes me from the top of my head. The same goes for the hop suppliers. They're big multinational companies. Yakima Chief just opened a big, massive refrigerated warehouse in Belgium because they fucking could. So there's that kind of illusion of choice, but then you got some of the smaller suppliers into the craft brewing industry, like Gladfield and Voyager Malt and stuff like that. I think we'll see more of those. So what's the hop bloody company? Hilltop Hops here in Brizzy and that sort of thing. So we have this illusion of choice. We have independent beer, but the people who supply it generally aren't really independent. They're big multinational companies. In Australia, we kind of trend towards duopolies and stuff like that. That's just kind of how it is. That's raw materials. The raw materials that go into making beer are commodity raw materials that are traded on stock exchanges around the world, that's just the nature of the beast. It's food, and food is a commodity, and commodities are traded. Are they sustainable? I actually have a preference for buying grain, especially, is very bulky, and if it needs to go in a container and get shipped halfway around the world, that doesn't sit very well with me in terms of food miles and stuff like that. So I try as much as possible to buy something local, even though it might be from a multinational company. I'll try and make sure that the food miles are as low as possible. Hops, not so much, because they're not so bulky and that sort of thing. We don't use that much in per liter of beer. Yeast is an interesting one. We only got one yeast lab in the country right now, which is Bluestone, and that's otherwise you've got to get your yeast freighted from overseas, and gets freighted and sits in customs and goes off in a hot warehouse. It's a bit shit. I hope that changes soon. It's really interesting. The supply into the craft brewing industry is very interesting. A lot of consumers wouldn't see that. To the second question, if beer was made illegal tomorrow, what alcoholic beverage manufacturing scene would you
before
move
you get
to
on the
try?
second question?
Yes.
I'll answer the first one. Yeah, because the second one's completely fucking unrelated, and my answer to the first one might be a bit different to yours. I think the answer you gave is fair in that we know the ingredients of beer, and we know the supplies of those beers, but there is a hell of a lot that goes into running a brewery. Like you mentioned packaging in the question. And I got asked this very specific question today from our banker. And it was, where do you get your packaging from? And packaging is a big part of beer as well. And
Sure.
It's not mentioned as an ingredient, but there's a lot of stuff that goes into beer. There's a lot of stuff that goes into the small batch things, a lot of decisions that go into merchandise, local things for the tap room, local suppliers for the tap room, packaging, all that kind of stuff that isn't those big four ingredients. I guess water is local, isn't it? The yeast and the hops and the malt. And you are making decisions about whether to buy locally on those things. So packaging is probably one is worth thinking about, because that's something that we spend a lot of time on, is working out. We get almost all of our packaging from Visi, which includes the cans and
lids,
the lids and all the boxes. And the work that goes into the boxes is there's a fucking lot of work that goes into this stuff.
Oh yeah,
that, people don't think about. And Visi they're a massive company. I think they're Australia's biggest private company. So it's not like they're a small business, but they are local. They're kind of 30 minutes up the street. They turn a sheet. I've been out there. It's pretty phenomenal. They have like a sheet of raw aluminium that they turn into one of these cans in about an hour and a half, and pallet after pallet after pallet, all kind of in front of your eyes if you go there and watch the process.
I want to go see that, eh?
It's very cool. And that includes, all the process stretching out. It goes under your feet. It goes into the big spinning printing machine. You get to see a proof of the can. You compare it to the print proof. You decide if it's dark enough or light enough and all of that stuff. And then just pallet after pallet just rolls off this thing and just sits there for you until you need it. That's all done locally. Our packaging, all of the boxes and whatnot, is done locally, because it's actually a lot more efficient for us to get something with a short amount of lead time out of Visi.
To get it cheaper from China.
It's not cheaper, depending on what you're getting and all the detail that goes into it, all that stuff. It's cheaper and easier and more efficient and faster for us to get it locally.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So there are components, and we spent a very significant amount of money on packaging. There are quite a few components that you do get locally, as well. So I didn't want to leave that out of the answer, but yeah, let's get on to number 2. You can answer that one, Hendo. If beer was made illegal tomorrow, what alcoholic beverage manufacturing scene would you move to and why?
Oh, that's a fucking tough question. I think if beer was made illegal tomorrow, I think that I would I think I'd probably like fix motorbikes or something.
That wasn't one of the options.
Oh,
What alcoholic beverage manufacturing scene would you move to and why?
oh shit. It'd be very easy for me to say whiskey or distilling, but fuck, man, I don't want to become a distiller because, like, as much as I love whiskey and gin and that sort of thing, I wouldn't want to. Like, for me, that's a pleasure thing. I'm not an expert in spirits at all, and when I drink spirits, it's like it's either I love it or I don't like it. I don't have to analyze it. Don't have to think about it. It's a fun thing for me. Like, craft beer is a lot of fun for the consumers that we make beer for and that sort of thing. It's just their fun Friday switch off thing. That's my fun Friday switch off thing. That and red wine, you know. Do I want to make those things? Fuck no. No, never. So it definitely wouldn't be one of the things that I take just pure pleasure out of. Probably fucking seltzer.
I had a seltzer at our Christmas party.
I had seltzer. I don't do seltzer because the thing is I can make seltzer. I don't mind it. I don't really think much of it. I can make it pretty well. There you go. Just that. That's it. But it wouldn't be the passionate thing that like I have for beer. It would just be me making something really, really well.
Yeah.
Without the passion.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say winery because I just love wineries. I mean, I'm sure it's a fucking terrible idea, but if I'm forced into a situation, wouldn't you just love to own a winery? That'd be amazing.
But there's so many people who start wineries. There's as many people who start wineries and not very good ones who are the same. They just go, I'm going to start a brewery for the sake of starting a brewery.
Oh yeah,
they're not very good at it either.
Disaster. But if the options are gin distillery, winery, seltzer, brewery, I guess it is. It's not what's a seltzer manufacturer or whatever.
We should make our own line of RTDs.
The Grudzitsky Boston the Brewer range?
But no, well, beer's illegal.
Okay, yeah.
Boston the Brewer, bourbon and Coke.
Okay.
Bourbon and cola, sorry. Bourbon and cola.
All right. I don't.
We'd have to make it really cheap.
But we could, like a Woodstock.
Yeah, but cheaper.
Or cheaper than Woodstock, okay.
Yeah, right, cheaper and shitter.
Bigger cans.
And stronger.
Like the Hollandia version of Woodstock.
Yeah.
500 ml cans, 24 pack for $40.
You know, the thing is in Australia, right, you're only allowed to have a maximum of 2 standard drinks for an RTD in a can or, you know, container and that sort of thing, right? So I think we start this, right, is that we bring the size of the can down to the smallest possible size. Okay. That you can get 2 standard drinks in a can, and we reach out to Vizzy and say, look, fuck Vizzy, we want to make these really tiny cans that are 2 standard drinks, but are like 60 mils.
Interesting. So it's just a shot of just savageness.
Well, it's 2 shots.
Well, yeah, you're right. Just 2 shots.
But then that means we're in the fucking whiskey business.
And if beer's illegal, then whiskey's illegal.
Oh God. Anyway,
that's the 12 questions, and it's getting late. But there's a few more. I want to do justice to the group. There is a few more in here, so why don't we smash them? Right, Andrew Drayton, who's a beer male, a Hall of Famer.
Yes, absolutely.
If Hendo didn't sever a tendon, he didn't do a good enough job. Too soon? ?
It wasn't a tendon. It was a fucking artery or a vein or some shit.
That's what he said. If Hendo didn't sever a tendon.
No, I didn't sever a tendon.
No. Okay. Well,
he said it was a blood vessel of some sorts that made blood fucking spurt out everywhere. I fucking oath I didn't do a good enough job.
Yeah, that was damn, Andrew. Right. Ryan Fulton. I haven't read these, by the way. So if these are real savage, well, we're not live, so I can edit, but it's late and I probably won't.
Get savage. I don't care.
All right. Ryan Fulton. Has anyone really been far, even has decided to use even go want to do look more like? Okay. Well, right. Fuck
what?
You, Ryan Fulton. I just read that live on air. Come on, dude. I think he's just copied that and just mixed the words around, and I've just read it out.
Huh.
Ryan, do better. Okay.
Mm.
All right. That was pretty good. All right. When are we brewing the Grzycki? That was from Luke Cooper.
That's a great question. Have we spoken to GABS?
No, we haven't.
Have we spoken to Eddie?
No, Eddie's in Tasmania.
What's he doing in Tasmania? Is he on having a holiday?
Yeah. So Ryan seconded that, and then Luke on his own comment said, let's get the 12 involved. All right. Thirded from Luigi. Yeah, well, it's a lot of love for it.
Good idea. Yeah.
We haven't progressed that. That's my bad.
We'll get to it when we get to it.
Oh, Lee Mcalister Smiley, VIP, is online right now. Voted the worst member of the 12. His question is, did Hendo take his own stitches out, or was he a pussy?
So he messaged me last night and I was saying, I've got to get these stitches out and that sort of thing. He says, do it yourself.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, get some of those fucking sharp bloody scissors out of your first aid kit and do it yourself. I went, I can't do it myself. And last night after I'd spoken to him, I actually sat down, I took my sock off and I got my sharp first aid kit fucking scissors out and pair of tweezers, and I went to give it a go and I couldn't fucking do it.
Wow.
I tried, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
So to answer Lee's question, you're a pussy.
Thank you. Okay. Yes.
Well, can I add to that question? It wasn't for me, but
yeah.
I went about 18 months ago, I went to the doctor and got a whole bunch of moles cut out, right?
Yep.
And then after a few weeks, all the stitches were ready to come out. I went back to that doctor to take the stitches out. And then about 3 months after that, I kept looking at this fucking spot on my leg and it was still dark. Like I thought it was like dry blood. It wasn't, kind of wasn't healing properly. And I was just picking away. And then nothing really happened. And then like about a month after that, I'm like, it's still fucking there. What's going on? So I'm picking away at it. And then I'm picking away enough to the point where it's bleeding. And then I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's like black. Like that's not blood. That's like I knew that was where the stitch was.
Yeah.
And so I picked away at it so much to the point where I could get my fingernails in there, and I fucking ripped the thing out and he'd left it in there.
You just ripped it out?
Ripped it out.
How?
Oh no, it didn't hurt at all. It's like, it's just in the skin.
Okay. So do you know what they do now? And that's what happened with my stitches. They're not black anymore.
Oh.
They're blue.
Oh, so you can see it easy.
Yeah, so you can actually tell that it's not supposed to be there because there's nothing in your body that's supposed to be blue.
Yeah. Okay.
Whereas if you have if you have a scab or something like that, it goes black and that sort of thing. But yeah, they're blue now.
Well, since we've been giving out financial advice, we may as well
give a medical advice. Fucking no.
My advice would be, don't go to the doctor to get them taken out because they're fucking useless.
Go to Lee Mcalister Smiley.
Oh yeah, go to Lee.
Shittest member of the 12. He'll fucking take him out for you because he needs a fucking slogan. It's like, come to Lee's, get your stitches taken out, you pussy.
You pussy. All right. Whoa, here we go. Lou G, last question.
Right.
I got a last minute request. Can you make it at least last 4 hours? I have a long work trip tomorrow.
I've got to take a piss.
Popped up. Thanks, Dan and Hendo. You're the best of the bunch. I mean, I don't know what bunch you're measuring.
Well, thank you.
I feel bad for you, but it's almost been fucking 4 hours, hasn't it?
Yeah, it feels like it. My bladder feels it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Same. Oh, that's it.
That was it.
Let me know if
Thanks,
you
everybody.
Get the original podcast that you destroyed by taking over the technical reins of this podcast earlier tonight.
I'll send you the fragments that I've got.
It's not happening. It's not happening. I don't think there was anything good in there. It's okay.
Who knows? Yeah. Hey, good to talk to you, mate, as always, on a Wednesday night.
You too, mate.
You should, hopefully I'll see you next Friday.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'm keen.
Coming up, come and stay the night, have a few beers, go get some dinner, maybe a glass of wine. It's not a date, though.
It sounds a lot like a date.
Mm.
Do you want me to wear my Tiger King shirt?
Sure.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Cheers, mate.
See you next week, legend.
See you, mate.